So January 12th, my 7th grade year, I had enough. I was like, yo, man, I can't take this shit no more. And by that time, we was always working. Like, my father had to paper route and different help people. Like, yeah, I had to paper route. You know what I'm saying? When I was at a certain age. Probably before I was able to, because I think I like the older dude in my neighborhood was doing the papers. He couldn't do it no more because he was playing sports and all of that. So he let me do it in his name. Like, it was his route, but I do it and I get the money, collect the money, and all of that, and keep the money. So with my portion. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to save up a couple dollars, and I ran away from home. You know what I'm saying? And it was not like I ran away to nowhere, but I ran away. Um, like to my aunt's house up in Rochester, New York. Like, my mother from upstate, and her, like her sister, who she trusted most. My aunt Selena. She, probably the closest in age, no, closest to age, because my mother is the second oldest. So yeah, I believe it's the third oldest. And and her family became Jehovah's Witnesses. My aunt's family became Jehovah's Witnesses because of my mom. You know what I'm saying? My mom's just a leader. You know what I'm saying? So I get leader and all of that. I'm exactly like my mom, just a male version. You know what I'm saying? And my mother's powerful. So make a long story short, I ran away from home. You know what I mean? I took that money. Like I said, we 40 minutes from New York. An hour bus ride from the corner, Terrell Road to Front Street. Within 50 minutes, like I think 52 minutes on the bus schedule. You know what I mean? You're going to be pulling up in Port Authority. You know what I'm saying? Going through towns, picking up people every corner. Like, within 52 minutes, you're going to be at the Port Authority. You know what I mean? Gate 222. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I ran away. Took my money. You know what I'm saying? I went. Me and my man Victor Rouse. We playing hooky and shit. Cause we used to play hooky. I used to play hooky all the time. I hated going to school because I was always getting in trouble. Teachers was always trying to put me in a place. They was always trying to, like, what I mean? It was just hell for me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we play hooky, and I remember going down to the bank and taking up the money out. I had like $40, $39 if it's probably exact. But took that out. You know what I mean? And then like 7 o'clock at night, I was, you know what I mean? Like, I had went over to New York. You know what I mean? I ran away twice, actually. The first time I ran away, it was like I ran away on a Thursday night. But once I got to New York, I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I got to New York, I didn't have a plan past that. But now that I got to that point, the second time, I already knew what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I, ran away the second time, went into Manhattan, went into the Port Authority, got off the New Jersey Transit bus, went downtown, bought a ticket. You know what I mean? A bus ticket from Greyhound. From Manhattan to Rochester. And I didn't have enough. But one of the stops was Ithaca. It was before Rochester and it was cheaper. So I bought the ticket from Rochester to Ithaca. And then, you know what I'm saying? But I just stayed on the bus. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, when we got to Ithaca, I just stayed on the bus. I didn't get off. And then, you know what I'm saying? Then we pulled up into Rochester about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was snowing because it's probably, it was in the wintertime. And, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. And out there in Rochester, like, the bus, station closed. Or at least at that time, it closed. So it was closing like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. We were probably the last bus. So I was going to call my uncle. The plan was to call him in the morning. You know what I mean? My aunt's house. But since this thing was closed, I was like, yo, I can't be out in the cold. So I called my aunt. I said, yo, auntie. You know what I'm saying? It's Georgie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my government name is George. But family called me Georgie. You know what I'm saying? Nobody called me George. You know what I'm saying? Except people that don't really know me. Like my loved ones call me Georgie until my name became G-Man. G-Man of law. But anyway, you know, hey, oh, so my mom's must have called her. Cause I think I made a tape, if I'm not mistaken, to her, like, yo, what I'm gonna do? You know, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm out of here. And anyway, auntie had her husband, my uncle, you know what I'm saying, come pick me up. Came pick me up. And I was out there for about a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? And then once I came back, you know, it was like, you know, and like I said, we were on the cusp. Like, this was within a few years. I was in 7th grade by this time, but Mr. was murdered when I was in 5th grade. So maybe like this was like maybe a year and a half to 2 years within that window. So my mom was like, "Yo, you're not going back to school." You know what I'm saying? 'Cause she, of course, she thought it was a bad association and this and that, but it was really that I was trying to get away from the witnesses, not from my mom and not from my family, but just from that, that I just didn't fit into that, you know what I mean? That organization, beliefs, you know what I'm saying? But I still believed in it. You know what I'm saying? I believed that Jehovah was God, you know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying? All of that. It wasn't until I turned 17 that I got, knowledge of self, dealing with the 5 percenters. The brother who I killed law was we used to walk to elementary school together, you know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up in the same, you know what I mean? Like, same grade, same neighborhood, basically. And, so I used to be around them. And that's when I, head to God's building when I got the information. Coming back to 7th grade, January 12th, when I left school, I came back, my mom was like, "You're not going back to school." And so what happened in Jersey at that time, like, a child would have to be registered at a school, up until 16. So, make a long story short, for my mom to take me out of school, she had to go to court. You know what I'm saying? Like homeschooling at that time, it wasn't, like, I don't know nobody else that was homeschooling. I maybe heard of it because there was, schools that my mother got into, Calvert and Baltimore. She got a curriculum from them. But, we the only ones that, grew up. There wasn't no camp or nowhere you go with other kids that did homeschooling. So my mother went to court. I'll never forget, the one thing I heard her tell the judge, it was Judge Hawthorne. He was a Plainfield judge. And she told him, she was like, "Yo, my son is not going back to school." And she said, "And y'all not gonna be picking them up off the street." You know what I mean? Like if I got killed in the streets. You know what I'm saying? That's what she wants. So I don't care, y'all can take me to jail, whatever. My son not going back to school. You know what I'm saying? That was my mom's. Anybody know my mom? You know what I'm saying? Darling. She called everybody booby, so everybody called her boo. You know what I mean? My mom's was very, very strong. You know what I mean? She was, like, not strong like these women today. She was strong in her marriage. You know what I'm saying? So my father was the head of the house. You know what I'm saying? But my mother ran the house because my father delegated that to her. So, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so anyway, make a long story short, she must have won because we never went to school. You know what I'm saying? I was the first one out. Then the following year, my sister and my brother, you know what I'm saying, started, being homeschooling. But they were good children in school. Like, they had friends and wasn't getting in trouble. The principal probably didn't know their name, but I was on first name basis with the principal, the vice principal, the secretary, because I'm sitting out there waiting to meet with the principal. So we got cool, you know what I mean? And so, I knew the staff. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, like, when I would come to school, like in elementary school, like my first day of school, teachers be like, "Oh, Georgie," or no, but they call me George. You know what I'm saying? The government, George. Oh, we're not gonna have that this year. All right. So, you know what I'm saying? That'd be my first, interaction with the teacher coming into school. And so anyway, it was pure hell. So this is, where I grew up into. You know what I'm saying? And then So we stopped going to school. My mother homeschooled us for years. You know what I'm saying? I was in 12th grade, so you know what I mean? And I didn't, I did the homeschooling thing, but I never, we never took a GED or something until I went to school for music. I went to Center for the Media Arts in Manhattan. It was on West 23rd Street. And so to go to that school, I needed a diploma. You know what I mean? So they helped me to get they set me up. They're like, yo, you could go here, here, here. But at that time, you would have to enroll, and they act like you don't know nothing. And so they gotta tutor you and all of this. It's like night school or something for you to take the test. But there was one school in Jersey City, and I think it was Bird College or something like that. But I just remember Bird in it. You know what I mean? That I had to look up and go to, and so I was able to just go in there without taking no test. Taking no classes, and I could just take the test. And fortunately, you know what I'm saying? Inshallah, I passed. You know what I'm saying? And or I should say, mashallah, right? I passed, and so I went to school and everything. I passed and I enrolled, so I was able to go to the school. So I moved into the Bronx, into my aunt's house, went and studied the school, and that's what started me going to school.
P Funk City G.